Tony Gaskins here. For those of you, for the Blessed Tribe members, if you make it on here, y'all make sure when I get this situated to let folks know this not a Q&A. I just pop it in to do my Sunday sermon live today, but I gotta make sure my service working. I was having little issues a little earlier, so I turned off my Wi-Fi, so hopefully my service working and I'm at my son's soccer game, so they got to get here an hour early, and so I typically get some work done in that hour before the game. He always got to be here an hour before so they could fake warm up, because they still start the game and be cold, but so I'm not sure what they get here an hour early for. But and this another thing too that I've learned, that I've experienced, is my son, my oldest son, he's 14. These youth sports today, they don't care about your relationship with God. My 7-year-old got a photo shoot today at 10 a.m. So if your church got an 8 a.m. service, got a 10 a.m. service, and 11:30 service, they cutting right in the middle of everything for your child to come do a photo shoot. And then my oldest son, he had a game yesterday, and now he got a game today. So it goes to show that in this day and age, you got to have a relationship with God for yourself. You got to know God yourself. You can't depend on being able to sit inside of a building to get to know God. You got to have your own personal relationship, because when you have kids and they have their ministry, and the Lord put that on my heart, he said, listen, you had kids and soccer is your son ministry. That's how he want to be a light. That's how he want to be a light for me. So that's your dependent. You got to have him in the place he need to be, and you brought him in the world, so it ain't fair that you cut his life off and not give him the opportunities to realize his dreams when he's your dependent, when he wouldn't be here had you not brought him here. So I had that revelation, because I see a lot of times parents take their child's dream so that they could be in a building on Sunday, quote unquote, getting closer to God. And now the child can't grow and do what they want to do and fulfill their dreams and be their best, because their parent had them in a building every Sunday and thought that would make them more of a Christian, like they say, sitting in the garage ain't gonna make you a car. So the Lord gave me that revelation, is you got to have a real relationship on your own. But I was thinking today, and I wanted to pop in and chat with you just about for a little while, as I'm thinking about lack. Because one of the things I'm noticing is that we live in lack, and it's what I call broke-minded. But we live in lack, and we live in a state of penny pinching, and we live in a state of barely getting by, and we don't really have a sense of abundance, because any and everything we get, we want to spend it, we want to live out of it, and we want to realize the fullest extent of our income. And a lot of times we can get caught up keeping up with the Joneses and doing too much. And a lot of times we don't understand balance, and we don't understand seasons. And one of the things that I see all around me and in my own life for so many years is lack, from paycheck to paycheck, and never really getting to a place of freedom, a place where we can enjoy life and appreciate life and come to a space to where we can be grateful. And as I was reading the word, and I saw where God says he clothes the lilies of the field and he feeds the fowls of the air, so how much more will I do for you, my child? And a lot of times we speak lack and we speak scarcity and we speak brokenness and we speak downtrodden and all of this stuff over our life, and we say it out loud and we claim that, instead of claiming abundance, instead of claiming overflow, we claim lack. And we move like that and we think like that. And it's one thing to, you got to be able to stretch your mind to the place to where you can see more. You can see more for yourself. And when you can see more for yourself in your mind, what your mind is going to do is it's going to give you a solution. It's going to give you a plan so that you can be more, so that you can realize more. So one of the things that I did, instead of saying my glass is half empty, I started saying it's half full. And then I started saying my glass is full. And so what happens is my mind stretches and I can see more and I can do more. So you know how crazy it is. And the reason why I say this is because you passing through earth and stress kills. So you have relationship stress, and that's what we're trying to alleviate, is relationship stress for the most part on my page. And I saw a thing that said relationship stress is the #1 form of stress. That it's more stressful than work-related stress, than family-related stress, than death-related stress. When a family member or a friend, they die, that relationship stress is the most toxic form of stress, and that it increases your chances of a premature death by 300 to 500% by natural causes. And I realized that, so I focus on the foundation of life, which is relationships. We seeking relationships, but after you do a lot of work in that area, it's other types of stress that'll take you out. And the next stress after relationship stress that'll take us out is financial stress. Robbing Peter to pay Paul and living paycheck to paycheck. And the reason why a lot of times we live paycheck to paycheck is because we live out of everything that's in the check. And we don't store up anything for the hard times, for the rainy days. And we have to get to a place to where you can really understand abundance. And you can trust God, and you can walk with God, and you can not fret in the middle of what you're going through. And never, and in any way, in any aspect, speak it over yourself. So many times I'll see people who they going through and they experiencing something in their life, and they will write it out in the comments on social media saying that they're broke. I'll post a new course, or I'll post a video and somebody say, I'll never find love. It's so hard to find love. I'll never have a happy relationship. Not only did you think it, but you took the time to write it. So now your brain accepts that as the truth, and you can't move away from that. You can't move away from that. You're going to walk right into it. I was talking to a client the other day, and the client asked me, Tony, why you don't believe in horoscopes? Why you don't read horoscopes and zodiac, what your zodiac mean and all of that? And I said, because for one, that stuff related to divination, a different form of sorcery. And if I go read something that tells me I am this way based on the time that I was born, the month, the day that I was born, I have just locked myself into that, because my mind will believe anything that it reads. So now I got to do extra work trying to break that barrier, trying to break those boundaries, because as humans, we always seeking the answers to the unknown. So we want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. A lot of times people write me when I do a Q&A, people write me like I could see the future. They writing me for an answer that will give them peace about their future, as if I'm a psychic, which is working for the devil, or a prophet, which is working for God. But they essentially saying, will my ex come back to me? And will we live happily ever after? And I have to remind them, I can't see the future, but we want to know the answers for tomorrow. And that's why so many people get into these horoscopes and these zodiac signs, because you trying to get the answers to the unknown, and you trying to solve a puzzle instead of walking by faith, instead of naming and claiming, instead of saying what you want to be, instead of saying what you want to do and who you're going to be and what you're going to do. And I remember reading one of them things that a lot of people talk about, and they got whole Instagram pages about your zodiac sign, and it'll tell you who you are. And half of it might be true, and the other half might be false. But the half that is false, we will do everything in our power to make it true. And then we will get into a rut, and we'll go into a place in our life to where we living in a way, and we might be living toxic, and we might be living out of order, and we'll say, oh, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Libra, so that's how I have to be. That's what I got to do. That's what I got, because I'm this, I'm that. And we put boundaries on ourselves. And then I post some, hey, life coach certification or this right here, and I see a whole bunch of people say, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. And it's like, if you can't afford something, don't put that out in the world. Don't write that in cement. Keep that to yourself and tell yourself, I can afford it. I will be able to afford it. So your mind will start to see solutions so you can go to the next level. When you hear somebody talk about a relationship, don't tell yourself, I'll never find a happy relationship, I'll never be happy, I can never meet somebody. Tell yourself, my time is coming, so that your mind can stretch and see the possibilities. Because if you tell yourself you can't have something, if you tell yourself you can't do something, guess what? Your countenance changes. Your mind shuts down. Your smile goes to a frown. So if you telling yourself that something is not for you, and you walking through your life, and I tell myself I'm not blessed, and nothing is going right, and everything is going bad, and nothing gonna work out for me, if I'm saying all of that, what is my countenance gonna be? I'm gonna be moping and complaining. I'm gonna be moping and complaining. I'm gonna be walking around. I'm gonna have my head down, and my blessing could be standing in the elevator with me. My blessing could be a conversation that I would have had if my head was up and a smile was on my face. My blessing could be the networking that would have transpired had my mindset been telling me that I'm in the blessing. I'm living in a blessing. That because I'm breathing, I'm blessed. That because I'm living, I'm blessed. And I'm blessed going, and I'm blessed coming. I'm blessed in the now, and I'm going to be blessed tomorrow. I was blessed yesterday. And so when you change that mindset and you stop speaking scarcity, stop speaking lack, because your mind will believe everything you tell it. Your subconscious mind cannot decipher between fact or fiction. Anything it hears, anything it reads, anything that it is told, it believes it and it moves towards it. So you determine what you're going to believe. You can't control what's going to happen to you, but you can control how you respond to it, not react to it, how you respond to it. And this is where you have to go. You have to get to that place to where you take the limits off of your mind. You take the boundaries off of your mind. When I was a dog and I was living reckless, and we counted the amount of women we could get, determine our manhood. It was absolutely crazy for me to say that one day I'm going to meet my wife and be 100% faithful. That was so unbelievable. That was so far-fetched. But I knew that's what my heart wanted. My heart wanted to be settled and secure in real love. But because of the environment that I grew up in and the way that we live, a happy, healthy marriage without knockdown, drag out arguments was so far-fetched. To be in a relationship now going on 15 years of marriage and we barely argue, and when I say argue, I mean getting mad and getting silent. That never happens in our relationship. We go through that probably once a quarter, to where we have a disagreement. And you know what the disagreement is about? And I tell y'all this all the time. It's typically about my wife yelling too loud at the soccer game. And I almost had to take a man's life because she yelling too loud. He go to yelling loud. I'm quiet. I don't say a word. Then he go to threaten to knock me out. So now he finna lose his life over a soccer game. And I had to get on my wife about that. That's what we disagree about. But coming from a place where all I saw around me was domestic violence in a relationship. All I saw around me was divorce. All I saw around me was kids being abandoned by their father, abandoned by their mother. All I saw around me was abusive mothers who would curse their child out, beat on their child. I remember watching women in my family. I saw a woman in my family pick up that telephone. You know, the telephone that was shaped like a square, and it got the receiver that sit on the top of it. Pick up that telephone and throw it like a baseball pitch and hit my cousin. He was a boy. Hit my cousin in the arm with it while he running away from her. That was his mama. The women in my family they didn't have there was no father to my cousins. None of them knew their father. That's what I saw growing up. I was the only one that would be at my grandma's house that knew my daddy. And I had another cousin who knew her daddy, but he was in a thing where they cut the head off of chickens and dance around in circles. And they did voodoo and all of that right there. So her upbringing was rough in that household because her daddy was into voodoo and all that other stuff. He was from Haiti. And so, but he wasn't into Christianity or nothing like that. He was into other spiritual stuff that they did from his homeland. And a part of that too turned into him being abusive to her. So she was the only one who knew her dad out of my mama 12 siblings. So for me to say I'm gonna be in a happy, healthy marriage, that's the furthest thing from my reality. I remember seeing my female cousins, after they would be beat by a male, impregnated by a male, have one or two kids from a male, they would then give up on males because it was so toxic, so abusive, and then they would start dating females and leave the males alone. And I would see them. I remember a lady coming over to my grandma's house, and half of her skin was black and half of her skin was white. And it was not vitiligo. I said, what happened to her? Oh, your auntie burnt her. Your auntie burnt her with hot grease. Like, what in the world? I remember being at my grandma's house, another auntie come over there hunched over. She limping. I said, what happened to her? She got 3 of her ribs broke by a boyfriend. Wow. I remember being over there, another woman come up, whole face swole up. Whole face swole up. Couldn't even, it looked like a softball was in her face. I said, what happened to her? Your uncle broke her jaw. Wow. Another time, late auntie come up. I said, what happened to her? She had permanently swole lips. She had 4 knots on both lips, knots on both eyes. She had a thumb that was turned to this like it was doing a right turn, and it was stuck like that. I said, what happened to her? Her boyfriends beat on her. I remember talking to my grandma, and she telling me about, she bit the finger off of one of her baby daddies. Another one, she splashed hot water on him. And so you see, I'm seeing this and this all around me. And who would have thought? And so a lot of times people don't realize why people do what they do. That's why I teach on relationships, because I saw it destroy homes. I saw it destroy people. I saw it ruin people. And every single woman I knew had been violated before the age of 8. And people wonder why I do what I do, because of what I come from. But for me to say, hey, I want a marriage that's healthy, that's whole, that I want to change my life and not be a product of my environment, but I want every environment I go into to be a product of me. That was far-fetched, but I had to say it. See, you got to see it in your mind before you see it with your eyes. You got to see it in your mind before you see it with your eyes. It got to be a thought. It got to be a vision before it's reality. And so stop speaking lack over yourself. Stop speaking damnation over yourself. Stop speaking curses, generational curses over yourself. Stop speaking poverty over yourself. Stop speaking oppression over yourself. Stop. You know, I see everything through the lens of color because I'm raised in Florida. So because I'm raised in the South, because Ku Klux Klan came to my middle school, it's hard for me to see stuff outside of the lens of color. So when my son plays soccer and he mess around and he lower the shoulder and he run somebody over and the ref come and chew him out, but then when the white kid do it and he don't get chewed out, I say, oh, my son got chewed out because he black. My son come and do a soccer play and the ref call a foul, and then another kid, a white kid, do the same thing and the ref don't call a foul. I say, oh, he did that because my son black. And here I am trapped in that loop because of how I was raised. And this what I recognize, and this what I realize. So I have to now walk with a confidence. I got to walk with a presence that says I deserve to be here, and I'm going to get everything that I deserve. I'm going to get everything that God got for me, and can't nobody stand in my way. And so I have to approach life like that to get outside of that loop that my brain may be in. And that's what you got to realize and understand. And so this is the thing. When God say, I clothe the lilies of the field and I feed the fowls of the air, how much more will I do for you, my child? You got to know that your tomorrow is taken care of. So why you got ulcers today? Why you crying today? Why you worried about today? Instead, you got to walk by faith. You got to believe and you got to know. And this one thing that I believe in that a lot of people might not believe in, and I've heard people speak against this. A lot of people speak against this right here. But one thing about me is I believe in working twice as hard as I pray. A lot of people just wanna pray. Just wanna pray and then don't do nothing. I believe in working twice as hard as I pray, because faith without works is dead. And what I mean by that is I got to get out and I can't just say, Lord, heal the world and then sit down. I got to show up on here and I got to share a message with somebody, because it's going to bless somebody. It's going to help somebody. So I got to do my work. I got to do my work. If I say, Lord, I need you to bless. I need a blessing. The men, they was on a boat. They was on a boat with Jesus, and they'd been out there. And they was like, man, we done been out here all day. We ain't caught nothing. We ain't caught nothing. And they was like, you know, ain't nothing gonna happen. And Jesus said, hey, listen, cast the net on the right side of the boat. Cast the net on the right side of the boat. And thank y'all for the super chats. And somebody just sent me a cash app. I seen it pop up on my notification. God bless you. I really appreciate it. But y'all, I'm speaking to you right now, so y'all forgive me if I miss it. And They were like, man, we done been out here all day. What you talking about cast the net over there? When the last time you fish? When the last time you went fishing? You don't know nothing about no fishing. Ain't you the son of God? You ain't got to fish. You turn 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed a multitude. What you know about this? Hey, cast the net over there like I told you. Nah. So when they finally listened to Jesus and they cast the net over there, the net went in the water, and the next thing you know, so many fish in that net, they couldn't even pull it up. They had to just ride back and let it float in the water. They couldn't even pull it up. It was so many fish in there. See, you can't just pray. You're going to have to cast the net. You're going to have to cast the net. You're going to have to do something. So when I say, Lord, I need a blessing, something got to give, something got to happen, I go to working. I don't just pray and sit idle. I go to work. Because God say, study the ant. The ant don't stop working. The ant don't stop working. The Proverbs tell you that too much of that folding of your arms and too much slumbering, it's going to lead to poverty. So you got to get up and you got to go to work. It's so many people that I see just crying broke, but don't want to do nothing extra. Don't want to do nothing extra. I refuse. If I'm broke from my job, I'm finna start working on a dream. And I'm going to balance the dream and the job until the dream becomes the job. Until the dream surpasses the job. Until I'm being paid more from my dream than I am from my job. I'm going to balance the two. If I got to work 80 hours a week instead of 40, that's what I'm going to do. If 40 of them I'm full rested and the other 40 I'm drained, that's what I'm going to do. Until my breakthrough happen. And then it's going to be a season of rest. I done had grind time and then I done had rest time. So I done lived it and I done seen it. I done seen where I had to work 70, 80 hours. 70 to 80 hours a week to make $60,000. And then I done seen where I had to work 10 hours a week and make 7 figures. See, seasons change. Seasons change, but you got to know when it's time to grind. You got to know when it's time to do the work. And the one thing I can't stand is broke mouth people. I can't stand no broke mouth person. And what I mean by that is always cursing their life, talking about what they don't have, what they can't get, what they can't find, what can't happen, what's not working, what won't work. Woe is me. It's easy to say when you're married. It's hard out here for the singers. And it's like it's going to stay hard long as you walking around looking like that. Somebody see you and want to be your king, want to be your queen, and you walk around looking like a sour-faced lemon. Anybody say something to you, you got to add what do you want? I remember the time when I'm out promoting my book. I'm at the mall promoting my book. I'm handing out the business card, promote my book. And the security guard come up to me. Mall cop, Paul Blart, come up to me. Sir, you can't be in here with that. You can't be in here with that, sir. You can't be in here soliciting. I didn't even know what soliciting meant at the time. I was 23 years old. I ain't had no degree. And he put me out of the mall. So I go outside. Now when you get out your car, I'm putting it in your hand. Because I had just got out the streets. And when I was in the street, I used to bust that little zip bag open and put it in your nose and let you smell that. Woo, what that is? Yeah, that's that mid-grade. Yeah, that's that dro. So now that's what I'm doing with my books. I'm putting it in their hand. And I remember I went to hand the lady a business card. And she was with her daughter. And the lady say, hold on now. Now listen. Do not come over here playing games because I am tired of the games. Do you want a real relationship or do you want to play games? I was like, ma'am, I'm married. I said, ma'am, I'm married. I'm coming to hand you a business card promoting my new book. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. So yeah, so tell me about your book. I'd rather not. But I went on ahead and told about the book. But see, this how we confrontational with our blessings. What if I was single? If I was single going to shoot my shot, if I got that kind of response, what I'm finna see at this point is a woman chopping me up, putting me in her freezer. Because she found a text message in my phone from Pizza Hut, let me know the delivery was on the way. And she thought PH stand for Felicia Henderson. You see what I'm saying? And so I had to realize, Tony, you can't block your blessings through a mind that's broken. You have to speak. So when I said I want to be married, healthy, and whole, but all I saw growing up was abuse, that was far-fetched. When I got a job and my W-2 said $19,900, at $19,900 a year, I said I want to earn 6 figures before the age of 30. I want to earn 6 figures before the age of 30. I was 25 years old making $19,900 a year when I said I want to earn 6 figures. And then I said, well, what is 6 figures now? It sounds good. I heard somebody say it. I said, that's $100,000. How in the world I'm finna go from 20,000 to 100,000? That's 5 times what I'm making. Guess what? I had to say it in order to see it. People always say, well, it's easier said than done. Everything is easier said than done, but it got to be said in order to be done. It got to be said in order to be done. But we get so caught up in lack. We get so caught up in scarcity. We get so caught up in limited beliefs. We get so caught up in being afraid to believe, being afraid to think about the next level. And we get scared of heights. You can't be scared of heights when you've been given wings to fly. You cannot be scared of heights when you've been given wings to fly. So you have to understand that the next level depends on you. And if you can't believe it, then you can't receive it. And we've been hearing that since we was children, and we ain't never let it soak in. But you got to hear that. You got to believe that. You got to hold on to that. And so when I said that, that was so far-fetched. And then guess what? In a matter of a couple years, my brain showed me in my stillness, when I would lie down at night, I would lie in stillness, I would lie in peace, I would lie in quiet, and I would just envision, what can I do with what I have to help me get to where I want to be? And my brain, when I took the limits off of it and I allowed my mind to be boundless, I could then see the visions, the ideas, do this, do this, do this. So I started stringing things together. I said, oh, I could write a book telling my story. Then I said, oh, I can ghostwrite books for other people who can't write, because I wrote my book in 10 days. So that must be a gift, because I heard it took this person a year to write a book. I wrote my book in 10 days, 1-2 hours at a time. So that 130-page book, so that must be a gift. Let me ghostwrite. Oh, you know how to write, but you don't know how to publish. Okay, let me be an author consultant. Okay, I wrote about the book. You got questions. I don't have free time, so let me charge for my time. Oh, this is called consulting. This is called coaching. Oh, it's people getting paid for coaching because they giving value and they giving time that they cannot redeem on their deathbed. So they put a price on their time for their value. And it's a whole industry for it. I said, oh, okay. Somebody told me that because I was seeking knowledge. I heard on a conference call, a teleseminar, where the man say, if you wrote a book, you could coach on that subject. Then he said you could speak on that subject. Then he said you could make a course on that subject. So it's book, course, speak, coach. One thing become 4 streams of income. So now I'm 23, 24, 25 years old. But because I said I want to take my family from $20,000 a year to $100,000 a year. So my mind said, what can I do? You see what I'm saying? You got to stop speaking scarcity. You got to stop speaking lack. You got to stop speaking failure. You got to stop speaking condemnation and damnation and trials and tribulation over your life. And you have to trust and believe that if the fowls of the air don't go a day without being fed, how much more will he do for you, his child? If the lilies of the field are clothed, how much more will he do for you, his child? So then one thing became another. And guess what? When I hit 6 figures, I didn't hit 6 figures. I hit 150,000. I literally went from way below 100,000 to 150,000. And I said, wow. But see, that's what your mind will do. With a little bit of flavor, a little blessing dabbed on it. And then when I got there, I was crazy. I say, I want to go from 100 to 250. I said, I done tried this before. It worked. Let me say it again. Hey, I want to go from 100 to 250. And on one side, in a little piece of my mind, it's like, boy, you crazy. Boy, you crazy. Boy, you come from nothing. Boy, your parents never even made more than 50 grand in a year. Like, what are you talking about? You want to be at 250? What you talking about? You want a healthy relationship when all you saw was abuse growing up from your family, not my household, but all around me. What are you talking about? See, you have that little thing right there that's in your mind, that's in your ear, but you got to keep speaking what you want. You got to keep believing what you want, and then you got to work towards it. So if I want a healthy marriage, guess what? I got to work on me. If I want a healthy business, guess what? I got to work on me. I got to do the work. I got to stop speaking lack. I got to stop speaking doubt. I got to stop speaking failure. So guess what? I say I want 250. So then, okay, instead of ghostwriting for 1,500, let me see what ghostwriting go for. Oh, this man got a contract on Google. He charged 20,000. But he older than me, and he white. This is what I said to myself. I'm young. I ain't got a college degree. I got to charge 10K. So I charged 10K to ghostwrite. And then I started getting clients. It was celebrity wives that was hiring me to ghostwrite their book. $10,000 wasn't nothing to them. So I write their book, 100 pages. Then Olympians, gold medalists start hiring me to write their book. People was coming to me just from me sending tweets out of quotes on Twitter. So because I cast the net. See, over here when I'm fishing alone without God, nothing happening. But then when I say, what can I do? How it's going to work? Cast the net on the right side of the boat. You essentially doing the same thing you've been doing. But now you locked in with the X factor that a lot of people don't believe real. People believe, oh, the same people who gave you the N-word is the same people who gave you the Holy Bible. I said, okay, well, y'all using the N-word now like it don't mean nothing. So what you mean? It must not be too bad of a thing, y'all, the way y'all using it. So let me use this Holy Bible then. And guess what? It was keys in there. It was keys to the city in that Holy Bible. It was liberation in that Holy Bible. It was freedom in that Holy Bible. I'm like, whoa, there's some jewels in here. Oh my goodness, you mean to tell me these are the principles I should be living by? And these the promises that come with it? Let me try this. Let me try the word by the word, at the word. And guess what? The blessings came. The blessing came. And now with blessings, the adversary always try to add burdens because it's people around you who they want to see you sacrifice, but then they want to be in your success. They don't want to be in your sacrifice. They don't want the heat from the kitchen, but they want the aroma at the dinner table. They want the flavor. They don't want to help season, but they want to taste it. And so that's where the blessing come with burdens. Now the burden don't come from he who bless you. The burden come from he who want to steal your blessing, who want to turn your blessing into a curse. And that's what you got to realize and understand. So here I am, I'm sitting here and I'm looking. And I say, man, I want 250. And I had to lie down in my stillness. And the reason why I say I want 250, because I say it's another level of living. Why I got to sacrifice and why I got to slave and why I got to be down here when I'm watching this man over here and he can do this right here for his family. He could do this right here for his family. They say, oh, well, what you already make is enough. Who said? Who said I got to put a limit on my dream? Who said I got to cap my potential? Who said? I want 250. I ain't see how I was going to get there, and guess what? The next year, 250 came. The next year, I said, hey, well, I think I'm doing pretty good at 250. 250, hey, I want 350. Guess what? The next year, 350 came. And I said, oh, man, do I want 450? I said, I want 450. Guess what? The next year, 450 came. I said, man, I want 500. I want 500, and guess what? Things changed. Things changed. I went back to 250 or 280. I said, whoa, now hold on. Now this ain't how this supposed to work. Hold on, now this ain't how this supposed to work. But see, sometimes what you got to realize, a slingshot got to be pulled back in order to go forward. See, sometimes you got to step back. If I take and I put this picture right in your face, you can't really get nothing from the picture because it's right in your face. But see, when I pull this picture back, now you can see. Now you can see the beauty of the picture. So see, I had to take a couple steps back. And when I went from 500 to 250, back to 250, I'm like, hold on now. Hold on now, what's going on now? This ain't how this supposed to work. Hold on now. You're supposed to be able to speak this thing and believe this thing and this thing come. But then guess what? What I saw is, see, you got a little lazy. See, you got a little complacent. See, you got to understand you could be content, but you can't be complacent. It's a difference. It's a difference between being content and being complacent. See, you got complacent. See, it started coming too easy and you got comfortable. No, you got to keep working. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep doing what you've been doing. You got to keep sowing. You got to keep growing. You got to keep going. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So, all right. So I got to do something else. So then I had to put my hand to the plow, put my head down and go to work. So I'm working, and I'm working twice as hard as I'm praying. I'm working twice as hard, but I'm believing twice as hard as I'm working. And I'm moving, and I'm moving. And the next thing you know, okay, all right, boom, I'm back about to 500. And then I'm at 500 and I say, I'm finna make a stretch. So I'm gonna make a stretch. I say, you know what? Because see, what I said I wanted in my marriage, what I said I wanted in my household, I got that. So see, what mattered to me is the things that money can't buy. That's the thing that mattered most. But see, what I realized, that's on me. That's on me. If I treat my wife like a queen, my household gonna be peaceful. Because I chose a person with character and integrity. So if I'm a good man, I don't have to worry about a marriage being hard. People always talk about marriage being hard. Marriage not hard. The people that's in it are stubborn. The marriage easy. Marriage easy when you're not hard-headed. Marriage ain't hard. You hard-headed. The person in the marriage. So men fear marriage. A lot of men fear marriage because they fear being with one woman for the rest of their life. They fear being a man of integrity, who is not lying, who is not cheating, who is not manipulating, who is not controlling. So they say marriage is hard. So they see marriage like a prison. Marriage is freedom when you have integrity and you have character. So see, I had everything that money, I got everything that money can't buy. So at that point, I say, well, I want to do better in my business. I want to give my family more. I don't want to just be able to live and take care of my kids. I want to be able to put something away for my kids. I want to be able to put up for their college fund. I want to be able to put up for the down payment on their house. I want to be able to put up for their higher education, their advanced degrees. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to go to that next level. So I'm sitting at 500, knocking on the door. And I say, I want 750. And then something, man, you crazy. You crazy. How you finna do 750 and you don't do manual labor? What the world you finna do for 750? You know what? I had to get out of my way. I had to get out of my way because I felt unrightfully privileged. So I was watching people create something that was 10% of what I had created. And they was doing launch parties. They was doing Instagram countdowns. They was doing whole parades for their new product. I was writing a book a year and not batting an eye. I wasn't telling a soul. I remember when I started to promote a book, people like, you an author? I'm like, I've been an author for a decade. Oh, I didn't know you was an author because I just was serving. I just was giving. And so God was blessing me without me even promoting myself. I just was giving, just giving, just giving. And my quotes started reaching 20 million people a week on Facebook. So on Facebook, my quotes was reaching 20 million people a week. So my self-published books was earning $5,000 to $15,000 a month without me promoting them. People was Googling my name because they saw my quotes. And I realized, okay, it'll take me a while to count to 1,000. Let alone 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million. Facebook showing me insights that say your posts have reached 20 million people this week. And that was every single week. And then when I took off from posting, I went on vacation for a week. And when I looked at the end of that week, it said your post reached 10 million people this week. I didn't even make a post. So I said, So the Lord said, okay, you sitting here and you being blessed from your work, from your service. But you know it's okay to let people know that you have a product. Like, don't get caught up being scared because everybody talking about fake gurus and fake this and charlatans, because you know you're not that. You know you serve from your heart. You know you give what you say you giving, and you know you charge a fraction of what the competition charging. It's okay to let people know that you exist, that you leaving a mark on the world. Ain't nothing wrong with doing what you doing. It's something wrong with the people who doing it for the wrong reasons and doing it the wrong way. But don't confuse yourself as that if you know you not that, because this ain't that. And I said, whoa, okay, all right. So when I'm sitting there and I say, okay, I say I want 750 because I want generational wealth. Now I want to be able to set my grandkids up. And that thing say, boy, you crazy. Man, you crazy. You ain't got no degree. You ain't got no degree. You ain't got no team. You don't have a mentor. You don't have an assistant. You ain't even got an office. How you finna do 750,000 in a year? off of just your natural God-given gifts. You don't take you don't ask for donations. You don't post your Cash App. You don't post your PayPal. You don't say hit the like. You don't stop the video and ask everybody to hit the like button. You don't ask nobody to subscribe. You just giving. You just serving. So how you gonna go to the next level? I said it. And do you know what? For the first time in my life, that year, my wife she bought me a planner every year. And I never wrote in the planner. I got to get ready for my son game. I got to get ready to go. I never wrote in the planner. But for the first time, I sat down and I wrote. I said, I want to train 1,000 life coaches this year. I want to pay off credit card debt. I want to earn 750. My hand almost locked up when I went to write that. But for the first time, I wrote my goals. And when I look back at the end of the year, I had trained probably 1,500 to 2,000 life coaches. People to become life coaches. I think I said I want to get my mentor.life to 100 coaches. Get 100 coaches on my mentor.life. When I look back at them goals, they had been hit. And do you know, it didn't go from 500 to 750. It went from 500 cross 1.5 million. See, I'm sharing this like the multi-level marketing people say. This is a quote when I did multi-level marketing for a few months. We was in the meeting, the man say, I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. I was like, woo, but that was cold. But what say that? What, say that again? Now, what you said now? So I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. Like the man said to me, when you take the limits off your mind, and you start to believe different, you start to believe better, and you stop speaking scarcity over your life, stop speaking lack over your life, stop speaking barely and start speaking abundance, stop speaking famine and start speaking harvest. I don't speak famine. I don't speak broke. I don't speak scarcity. I don't speak loneliness. I don't speak arguments in my relationship. I don't speak normal. I don't speak average. I speak exceptional. I speak abundance. I speak exceedingly. I speak above and beyond. Don't tell me that every marriage gonna have arguments and fights. I'm not claiming that. I'm claiming peace. I'm claiming prosperity. I'm claiming happiness. And I'm going to change me. I'm going to do everything I could do in my power. And then I'm going to lead the rest up to God. I'm going to cast the net on the right side of the boat. I've been on the left side of the boat all day and ain't caught nothing. Jesus say, cast on the right side of the boat. And I'm going to move in you. I'm going to move for you. This is what you got to do. So I say, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And guess what? I saw exceedingly above and beyond. I'm not finna get caught up in rappers talking about Jesus ain't real. Well, who? For when? He real for me. Showed up and showed out in my life. I'm not finna listen to people talking about this a slave religion. Well, I'm free. I'm living good. I'm blessed. I'm favored. It going and coming. When it's up, when it's down, I'm good. In the rough times, in the bad time, in the whatever you call it, I got peace. Because I'm connected to something. So look, call it what you want to call it. Call it how you want to call it. See it as you want to see it. But I'm finna do what's for me. I'm finna believe and receive for me. I'm not getting caught up in your propaganda and what you talking about, because I tried the word at the word. I opened the Holy Bible and I read it and I lived it for myself and I saw that it's real. So you can believe in what you want to believe in, because I don't believe in fairy tales. This my reality. I'm not telling you about a fairy tale. I'm telling you about a peaceful reality based on the lifestyle that I'm living. So listen, rapper, listen, comedian, listen, gatekeeper, listen, radio host, listen, TV host. You could be an atheist, an agnostic, a pragnostic, a magalistic, a sagalastic, whatever you want to be. But for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And we blessed and highly favored. We peaceful. You ain't seen a marriage with this much peace because God is the center. You ain't seen kid. My ninth grader is in a school that they do college freshman work in the ninth grade. The kids on his soccer team, the work that they doing at their school, my son did in the sixth grade. Since the fourth grade, they started giving out A's. And they give out A minuses. My oldest son has never had an A minus. He got 9 classes. The boy played travel soccer. Just made the Olympic development program. He got to do homework till midnight. This year he did homework till 2 a.m. one night because he want that. But God give him peace, give him grace. So see, when I invite God into my household and I see his peace and I see his presence and I see his blessings and I see his grace, you can't convince me that I believe in a fairy tale. You can't convince me that God ain't real. You can't convince me that the Holy Bible is fruitless, is powerless. You can't convince me of that because my life shows me otherwise. You can't convince me of that. Anything you want to compare, I'm going to show you that God going to get the victory. Anything you want to compare, the spiritual, the emotional, the physical, the financial, anything you want to compare, I'm going to show you that God going to win in and out of season. That God going to be good in and out of season. That in the Job season, there's going to be peace. In the famine, there's gonna be peace. In oppression, there's gonna be peace. In bondage, there's gonna be peace. See, peace is the real prosperity. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. But I'm telling you, you better get off of social media. You better stop listening to people because they look like they got some money. It's people that's on the radio sleeping on somebody's couch. It's people on a TV show sleeping on somebody's couch. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. But because people got a platform, we want to listen to their blasphemy. We want to listen to their sacrilegion. We want to listen to their ignorance. They want to believe in science. They finna look at how a child is conceived and a child is born and how a child grows into adulthood. They want to look at how the body heals and how we heal and how we grow. And they want to believe that come from evolution. They want to believe that come from a combustion in the sky. They don't want to believe in a supernatural power because they got science. Guess what? The human mind can't wrap itself around the creator. That's like a laptop computer, an Apple computer trying to understand Steve Jobs. With a stroke of a key, Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, could disrupt that Apple computer. And I don't think he believed in God. So guess what? That science can't heal you. That science can't buy your health. That science can't do nothing for you. If you don't believe in something bigger than you, that means you're arrogant and that means you're living in ignorance. If you think you the highest creation, if you think that you created yourself, that you made yourself, I'm here to tell you, I beg to differ. And I guarantee you, I dare you to try Jesus. I dare you to try Jesus. Listen, I was in the streets 21 hours a day. I don't believe in fairy tales because bullets is a reality. My life could have been lost. You hear me? I don't believe in fairy tales. It got to be real for me to believe in it. And I'm going to tell you what's real. Jesus Christ. That Holy Bible. Because one thing I've seen is a lot of the bad times I brought it upon myself. I couldn't even blame nobody. And the other bad times that I didn't bring upon myself, what I realized is life happens. That's what we call life. There's good, there's evil, and life happens. Good and bad happens to everybody. So you can't look at because you lost your mama, because your sister was abused. All that done happened. Life happens. Stop blaming God. Stop questioning God. Walk by faith. Live by faith. Get in a word that is the basic instructions before leaving earth. Bible. Basic instructions before leaving earth. And give it a real chance. Give it a real shot and see what happens in your life. Even when you feel down and out in your finances, you lose your job, you start to do right and everything start to go wrong. That's evidence that you own to something. Because opposition only meets those who are set up for greatness. Opposition don't approach you if you mediocre. If you ain't meant to be nothing, to do nothing, opposition don't want to have nothing to do with you because you ain't nothing to oppose. So you gonna go through when you going to. You gonna go through. You gonna lose people. Read the book of Job. That's the Holy Bible trying to let you know that just because you faithful, just because you righteous, don't mean everything gonna be peaches and cream. Job's whole family was killed. All his assets was taken. Everything was burnt to the ground. But on the other side, he got double for his trouble. You just got to weather the storm. You got to weather the storm without cursing God. And when you stop cursing God, when you stop blaming God for your pain, for your problem, for your trouble, and you realize that it's him who you go to in those times. You don't pull away from God and get mad with God because you're going through. This is life. We set up to go through. You see the evil in the world? You see the evil people? How you expect to have an evil people and not to have trials and tribulations in the world? You gonna have trials and tribulations. You gonna have upsets. You gonna have setbacks. Because we live in an evil world. So what you expect? So it's at that time that you draw closer to the cross. It's at that time that you believe harder, that you dig deeper, and that you keep walking by faith, not by sight. Because see, when you walking by sight, you won't get far. You got to be able to walk even when you can't see. And trust and believe that it's going to work out in your favor. And I'm telling you, I done seen it. I ain't telling you nothing for no hype. I ain't telling you, I'm not taking up an offering plate. I ain't got nothing invested in this. I ain't got to pay the building rent. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a reverend. I don't want your donation. I don't need your donation. So don't feel like when the word coming from me that it's a motive attached to it. I don't have no collection plate. You hear what I'm telling you? This coming from real life. You talking to somebody who could have took their life. I used to sleep with a 380 under my pillow. A nightmare would have blew my brains out. Because I was hustling 21 out of 24 hours a day. All I believe in is reality. And I'm here to tell you that God real. The realest thing I done ever seen. To take a man, when I told you, God gave me everything. See, what the wisdom was that God gave me? He say, son, listen. Before you worry about getting money, get the things money cannot buy. Get the things that you don't want money to buy. What's that? A wife. Find you a wife first. Find you a woman who gonna love you for you and not for your money. Find you a woman who want you for you. Find you a woman who can respect your ambition. Find you a woman who gonna love you where you at, not for where you have arrived. Get what money can't buy first. And if you could get a woman who will be with you before you a millionaire, before you at the top, now you found something that is not only valuable, it's priceless. Get that first. Get a healthy household where your kids are well behaved, well mannered, to where they walk around like they got some sense. Get that first. And then everything else will be added unto you. And that's what I did. So when I'm sitting there with a happy wife, with healthy kids, and I look at my business and I say I want more, because I want to build something that I could pass down. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children. And so I got the marriage, I got the kids, and money didn't buy it. Fame didn't buy it. I don't want a woman at this stage of my life. I need a woman that's going to work with me and build with me, that's willing to toil in the field with me. I need a woman that's going to love me for me, that could see where I'm going, that's going to speak life into me. She got a hand up. She helping me. She working with me. She encouraging me. She holding me accountable. She not settling for less than my best. She not settling for me cheating on her. She ain't settling for me beating on her. She ain't settling for me cursing at her. She want my best. And if I could give her my best, my integrity, my character, then she gonna ride with me, because it ain't about money. And God sent me that. God blessed me that. So when you see my wife, with $100,000 on, understand that she was there when I didn't have a dollar. So now that God done gave me what money can't buy, guess what? When you read the word, do you know who Solomon was? Do you know who Solomon was? Do you know that in this day and time, Solomon would be worth $3 trillion? That if you add up all of the richest men in the world, they would not equal Solomon. So see, a lot of times people get caught up and they think that because you serve God, you can't be blessed. Do you know what David was? Do you know what Solomon was? Do you know what these men of God, what God blessed them with? Do you think you could live with integrity and not be blessed? Do you think you could live a righteous lifestyle and not be blessed? Not have a good job? Not get a raise on your job? If you go into your job and you love your neighbor as you love yourself, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to promote you. If you go into your job and you work as if you working unto the Lord, what you think they're going to do? They're going to promote you. See, people think that it's about the prosperity. No, it's about the principle, because principles don't change. So when you live by principle, there are byproducts that come from you living that way. When you live a righteous lifestyle, good eventually is going to happen. On the other side of the trouble, it's going to be double, a double portion. So what did the scripture say? It say, I've been young and I've been old. I got to go. My son gang going, but see, the Lord moved, but I'm finna go. I've been young and I've been old, but never once have I seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So that lets you know that although you may feel like you've been forgotten, you have not been forsaken. Although you may feel down, it is not over. You down, but you not out. If you could look up, what the man said, if you could look up, you could get up. So guess what? You got to get back up. And you got to keep going. And you got to know who holds tomorrow. What they say, I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know who's bringing it. And that's what you got to understand. And so what you have to realize, and I started to talk to God about that. I said, Lord, hold on now. Hold on now. Now, how you want me to help people believe in you if I'm struggling? If the word don't work for me, how I'm gonna get somebody else? How I'm gonna get the word to work for somebody else? And the Lord let me know, listen, you ain't waiting on me, I'm waiting on you. You got to get your heart aligned. You got to get your heart right. You got to get your mind right. Then I can pour out. But if I pour out and your heart and your mind ain't right, it'll destroy you. And I'm not a man that I should lie, so I can't put more on you than you can bear. You ain't ready to receive everything I got for you. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. God just gave me a revelation in the midst of it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I see it. I see it. See, listen, I ain't talking to you right now. I'm talking to me right now. Oh, my goodness. The Lord just showed me something. Oh, my goodness. And my wife been telling me this. Oh, my goodness. My wife been telling me this. She been saying, Tony, God cannot do everything that he's going to do through you because you have not got the lesson. With every level, there are new devils. But with every level, there are new lessons. In order to get to the next level, you got to get the lesson. Until you get the lesson, you cannot level up. You got to destroy the monster at the end of the level in order to be advanced to the next level. And as long as you keep losing to the monster at the level that you own, you cannot realize your next level. Oh my goodness. I got to go because I realize what I got to do. And I hope you realize what you got to do too. Hey, God bless you. The spirit just left the room. I got to get to my son because your family is your first ministry. We'll